Hello and welcome to my very first podcast. I have no idea how to do these or how long they're supposed to be or if there's a format to follow, but I'm just doing it. So welcome to my currently unnamed podcasts. So the first thing's going to be a me update because finals are soon and coming up. So obviously I've posted a new blog post and a new video this week. Can you say procrastinating? So baking news, because I like baking. I really want to make homemade ice cream. I keep seeing really good recipes for like super vegan ice cream, and I really want to try them because normal ice cream is so good, but it gives me a tummy ache and it makes me sad. So I really want to try some vegan ice cream, vegan or not. I want to make it. Mentioned it in my last video, and ever since then I've kind of been freaking out about it. The other day I was out to dinner with my parents, and my mom ordered this amazing drink, and it just smelled like fresh pears, and it was this pear brandy. Never heard of it, didn't even know that was a thing, and I want to get some and make some fancy schmancy cocktails with it and hopefully impress my friends. So on to the main part of this, that I want to give you some astronomy news. So here's the headline: magnetic fields discovered near event horizon of the supermassive black hole in the center of our galaxy. That's the headline. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about that and tell you why that's super amazing. So most people think of black holes as just like the end of everything. You go in, you don't come out. They are, well-named black holes. Well, the smaller ones are, they'll have like the accretion disk and be sucking things in from every which way, and they're not that interesting. Everything just disappears. But the supermassive black holes at the centers of galaxies have a lot going on, and if they're spinning, which I'm pretty sure they usually are, because most things in the universe are spinning in some way, shape, or form. If a particle has charge, some particles don't have charge. Neutrons, no charge. So neutrons are not in this. Anything with charge is what I'm talking about. So like heavy metals, like electrons, those kind of things. If it has charge associated with it, then if it moves, it creates electric fields and magnetic fields. So imagine a particle is moving that way. It will make a magnetic field going around it this way. Isn't that exciting? So it's called the right-hand rule. So you have a particle's direction, and then your hand curls around in the direction of the magnetic field. So that's one way to think about magnetic fields. Another way is the next step of the right-hand rule. So let's say you have a magnetic field and you have a particle traveling through it. So let's say it's traveling up and the magnetic field is traveling towards the camera. So then it's going to feel a force as it moves through the magnetic field that way. So you see this like three-dimensional planar effect I have with my fingers? That's what we're talking about, okay? So I'm going to do that one more time. And this is why I'm making the video, because it's a very visual thing. So it's all perpendicular, by the way, perpendicular vectors. So, and let me say, it has to have a charge and it has to be moving. If it doesn't have a charge, it won't be affected. If it's not moving, it won't be affected, okay? So those are the two criteria that have to be met. So you have your particle, let's say it's moving up, and you have your magnetic field, let's say it's going that way. So the magnetic field is in this direction, okay? Your particle is just, traveling through, and then it encounters this magnetic field. And so because it has a charge, the magnetic field is going to exert a force on it. and that force is going to be that way towards the camera. So it's all perpendicular, right? Like 90-degree angles in the opposite vector perpendicular direction. Okay, so when you have, let's say, the Earth, we have a magnetic field. That's why we have the aurora borealis, right? The northern lights, because the ions from the sun hit the magnetic field lines in front of the Earth and travel up and down along those lines to the poles, and then they get all crisscrossy up there and they all interact, and then there's all these ions and they're like, oh, what do we do? And then boom, they get ionized. And anyway, so we have magnetic fields because we have metal in the middle of the Earth and we're spinning. So metal that has charge and spinning, movement. So charge, movement, magnetic fields. Boom. That's why we have a magnetic field. That's why the sun has a magnetic field, because the sun is literally just a big ball of hydrogen and helium nuclei and a crap ton of like free roaming electrons. The electrons get liberated when things get really hot. So you have this super, super hot liquid gaseous mixture in the sun, and the electrons are free flowing in that. So because the electrons are flowing, the sun has a super huge magnetic field, which is kind of the biggest thing in the solar system, potentially. And so that magnetic field protects us from a lot of different interstellar debris and other things that are coming at us from elsewhere in the Milky Way. So what's bigger than the Earth? The sun. What's bigger than the sun is supermassive black hole. So if you have a supermassive black hole and there are all these charges spinning in on the accretion disk and all around, but centered around the accretion disk, you have all these charges spinning in at super, super high velocity because of the insane gravitational pull of the supermassive black hole. So they're just spinning in. And right as they reach the event horizon, they encounter these gnarly magnetic fields generated by this spinning black hole. So the black hole is spinning, and then you have these spinning high velocity charged particles, but because the supermassive black hole is not like one perfectly uniform object, the magnetic field lines aren't like perfectly structured. They're kind of wiggly, but they're all in the general same-ish direction here. So if you have all these crazy charged spinning particles, them interacting with the supermassive spinning black hole, it creates these plasma jets, because not only are these things already spinning so fast near the event horizon of the black hole, they then get a huge force on them. So if you have like a little velocity, a little magnetic field, you'll get a little force. But if you have these huge velocities plus these huge magnetic fields, you get a huge force. So that it just gets rocketed, these extremely, extremely long, like hundreds and hundreds of light year long plasma jets that come out of the black hole at right angles, right? Because this is all about right angles, so all this stuff is spinning in and black hole and all that stuff is happening, so it makes sense, 90 degrees, that it comes straight out from the black hole. And we just discovered those on the supermassive black hole in the center of our galaxy. So, it's pretty nuts. I think it's awesome. I hope you think it's awesome. And that was published today in the journal Science. Keeping you guys up to date. Let's give some credit. So, by the way, if you want to look it up, I'll link it below, but it's resolved magnetic field structure and variability near the event horizon of Sagittarius A, which is the name of our black hole. So resolved magnetic field structure, meaning figured it out, because everyone knew that it was spinning and there were these charges, and so they're like, well, there's got to be a magnetic field going on there, but no one really knew exactly how it was structured or exactly what was causing it, so they didn't know exactly what the strength of it was, etc., etc. So these guys published a paper today saying, pretty sure we figured that out, dudes. So there's a list of like 20 names. But congrats to, let's do the first 5. So Michael D. Johnson, Vincent L. Fish, Shepard D. Doleman, Daniel P. Marone, and Richard L. Plambeck. Way to go. Way to go, guys. You did it. And you're published in the journal Science, which is also a big deal, so congrats on that one. Oh. God damn it. So the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics just published this today in the journal Science. So congrats to everyone involved. Dope discovery. After a lot of rambling, good night. Catch you on the flip side. Oh my god, this is forever now. This is forever. Catch you on the flip side. Right hand rule.